back to the channel for a very simple but hopefully useful video today. Today we're going to be comparing the sounds you get in the 2, 3, 4 mainly positions between a Nashville style Telecaster and a traditional Stratocaster. So obviously a Nashville Telecaster is a Telecaster with a Strat pickup in the middle. And I believe that came about because session players wanting to use one guitar for a session would do that, and that way they wouldn't have to, compromise not having any Strat sounds at all. So these two guitars are both stock. This is a 2004 Mexican Nashville Telecaster. This is a 2011 Fender American Standard Stratocaster. So these have very traditional pickups. So does this. These are the Tex-Mex pickups, so they're very slightly hotter than a traditional Telecaster pickup set with a Strat in the middle. So it'll be a pretty good comparison because there's nothing really fancy going on with either one of these guitars. And this will answer the question of how close really you can get with a Nashville Telecaster to a Strat sound, because there are obviously differences besides the pickups. The trim/vibrato system being probably the biggest one compared to the way that a Telecaster bridge pickup is mounted. So even in that 2 position, obviously it being combined, you're going to get a little bit different sound, but just how much? So that's what we will seek to find out today. Now, for years, when I was in college, I did not own a proper Strat. I had this, so I used it even though I wasn't playing sessions, really for the purpose for which it was intended, and I thought it did great at that time, but that was many years ago. So let's do just a straight up sound comparison in the 2, 3, and 4 positions, and let's see what they do. And we are back. Having listened in detail to all the sound samples, I must say that turned out about exactly how I would expect on paper. Because these are overall two pretty similar guitars, other than the obvious differences between Stratocasters and Telecasters, maple necks, 6 saddles, and even the pickups. I looked it up, and the DC resistance for the Tex-Mex Strat pickup middle position is 6.4. This year it appears that it was 5.9. Obviously that varies slightly from pickup to pickup, but that's not a huge difference. So I don't think that was a huge factor in the differences in the sound. I think more so it is the inherent differences between Stratocasters and Telecasters, even when it was just on the middle pickup. Because in all positions, I thought the Stratocaster was a little more hollow sounding, uh, less mid-range. This had more mid-range, a little more punch. I mean, one thing I've always loved about this Stratocaster, one thing why this was the one I chose when I purchased it, now almost 14 years ago, is that it sounds so stratty. And this definitely has some stratty elements with the middle pickup, but this is just quintessential Strat all the way. I mean, these are just, vintage output, simple Strat, nice sounding, but simple Strat pickups. So it sounded exactly like a Strat sounds. This sounds like with the middle position in particular, Strat pickup in a Telecaster. And by that I mean, Teles tend to have a little more punch, a little more mid-range. And yes, this pickup's very slightly hotter, but I think even when we were just talking about the middle pickups, you could hear this being in a Telecaster. And I do think the single biggest factor there is what I said at the beginning of the video. You have a string through hardtail bridge, and I have the plate on, but the springs in the trim / vibrato chamber back here, that is sort of a natural kind of reverb chamber, and the feel, it just gives a different sound rather than this very solid setup. Now, if you had a Robert Cray Strat, which is a hardtail, they might be even more similar. But I thought that is probably what accounted for the difference. But that being said, you get pretty close to a Strat sound with this on the middle pickup. Now, when you start combining in the Tele pickups, the difference is obviously more pronounced. There's a ton of videos. Dylan Talks Tone has some good ones about the differences between a Tele bridge pickup and a Strat bridge pickup. You have the metal plate on the bottom of this. It's obviously, instead of being in the pick guard, it's in this, metal bridge, which is attached directly to the body. And it just creates a different sound. And you get a good bit of that when you combine it with the middle pickup, obviously. But you still get some Strat character and some character that you just can't get in the combined position between the two standard Telecaster pickups. And the same goes for the neck. There are differences in construction between a standard Stratocaster neck pickup and a standard Telecaster neck pickup, and I think you hear that. So again, it's not better or worse, it's how close this gets to this, and it gets decently close. I can absolutely see for studio players who do not have time to switch between guitars, or even just lug a whole rig and 5 different guitars to a session. I mean, even look at the Brent Mason Telecaster, for example, one of the most famous session players of all time. That shows you, the utility, and even for a big name like that, having a single guitar that can cover a lot of bases. So I hope you found this to be an interesting video. I certainly did. Of course, if you're blessed to be able to play both, that's the best way to get a Strat sound, and a Tele sounds to have one of each. But I do think a Nashville Tele is a good compromise. And other than with the standard switching likes on this, because this is a 5-way switch, losing the standard Telecaster middle position, there are no Telecaster compromises on this. Some might say the extra magnetic pull on the strings, and maybe from the Strat pickup, that's a tiny factor, but it is a tiny factor. And I know some people just think that that pickup gets in the way, but it doesn't bother me, even when I'm finger picking. So, I mean, if you want a Telecaster that does a little more, just get a Nashville Tele. There's really no downside, and with some switching or, you know, wiring tricks, you can get that position back. So, if you really like that sound, but don't want a Strat, maybe you don't want a trim system, get a Nashville Tele. I think you'll be happy. And go back and listen to these sound samples. I'm sure many others you can find on YouTube to help you understand the differences. So that was fun. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Please like and subscribe. And until next time, keep on rocking.